This is part 2 of the Amityville Horror Remake 2005 review. Alright, so we left off with freaking, after he checks the boat dock and he goes upstairs because he sees the two girls up in the windows. And freaking goes up there to his daughter's room, or not his daughter, but anyways, to the little girl's room, and there's the lights off.
This is the second night, yeah.
And he goes in the closet because he picks up the doll. He sees the little doll there, and the camera's at it down, facing up, and you see
Jody, the girl who got killed in '74, is up there.
Yeah, you see Van Wilder
getting strangled by another spirit,
yeah, you see
evil
two,
spirit that's in the house because there's an evil
ghosts
spirit.
like fighting on the ceiling. It's pretty tight. Anyways, so then freaking also in the recap, freaking they're in the basement.
So then he goes into the basement.
Yeah, the basement, and freaking the wife's yelling at him, talking to him, and he's like,
totally feeling his oats from
like,
off a 2-day buzz because he's sober as hell.
Anyways,
and he tells his,
so then it cuts right from there.
His wife to F off.
And then it cuts, it cuts right from there to day 15.
Yeah, so it cuts Yeah.
So then we missed 13 days of jump scares and ghosts.
And filler.
Because freaking it's only day 2 and then it cuts right to freaking day 15.
So you're like,
okay, what the hell?
Is he totally up? He's totally feeling.
Anyways,
buzzed,
so freaking
more than buzzed.
And then it's the morning time and freaking he's having the kids.
No, it's the
13-year-old do the
awesome
wood.
aerial shot with a helicopter over the house.
Oh,
and so he's finally punishing the kid. Oh yeah, the kid stole the keys. He found the keys in his Billy's room, so he's making him unload wood.
He's blaming him for the boat freaking being out there in the boathouse. But freaking anyways, yeah, so he's doing firewood. He's making her do that. And then it cuts to the mom in the inside.
And then
she's
that's
in the kitchen.
magnet scene where
where it says
catch him.
It says catch him, kill him on the fridge. And George comes in to get like a glass of milk, and she's like, "Did you do that with the magnets?" And they're all moved back to to normal. And she's like, flipping out, and he's like, "What?" Anyways.
Anyway, then it cuts to.
And he's like, "You talking to me, bitch?"
Cuts to the infamous date night. And then
cuts to the date night.
Like, I don't need a babysitter.
It cuts to this nighttime. Wow, he's totally ruined that line. But it cuts to the nighttime, and they're in the living room talking about a babysitter.
There's a bunch of lines, so just go over it. And it's cool dude, he's like 13.
And he's like, "I don't need a babysitter." And freaking
he's like, "I won't let her come in."
Babysitter shows up, and freaking they open
Rachel
the door.
Nichols from
the
Conan the Barbarian.
The mom opens the door for her, and it's like a pretty hot chick, and freaking she takes off her freaking
with
jacket.
A belly shirt.
She takes off her jacket, and the mom makes it look like, man, she's just walking gonorrhea.
Yeah, it's like a
she looks at the teenager,
stereotypical bitch with multiple venereal diseases.
Yeah, dude, she's walking gonorrhea.
And he's just like, "I'm Billy, the kid."
Yeah,
pretty good acting
also
throughout
Van
the
Wilder,
movie,
Also, Van Wilder goes up to the kid and he's like, "You sure you still don't want a babysitter?"
Yeah, and he tells her name twice. It's pretty hilarious. It's pretty.
She's like, "Yeah, I heard you."
She's like, "Yes," and then they establish she's
like, "I got gonorrhea. I don't care."
She's like, "I babysat for the DeFeos, yeah." So she's already been in that house, and she obviously knows what happens. She's a local. Anyway, so then it cuts to the restaurant
scene. She's a local, with the venereal diseases, and she free rolls her J's. Free hand rolls them.
No, and he cuts to the restaurant, and he's just like, "I feel better away from that." No, it establishes that he's feeling
it cuts to the wife and freaking Van Wilder at a restaurant, and he's like, "Man, I feel way better." Yeah, he's establishing that he feels better when he's away from the house, away from the spirits. But anyways, so then it cuts back to freaking.
And you're like, "Yeah, you know he likes that."
It cuts from that dinner to freaking a bong being ripped in the bathroom by the freaking babysitter.
This is your typical, that local redhead in your town.
With the diseases and smoked weed. Anyways, so freaking.
No, she overcompensates for being a redhead by banging every guy and putting bongs in her freaking purse and
babysitting. Anyway, so freaking
babysitting to pay her way through it.
So she's in the middle of a hit and she's cashing it, and freaking the door knocks, and it's the freaking 13-year-old, the kid, and he's got like a bowl of popcorn.
And you can see the smoke in the background.
Made with like his anus fingers.
Yeah, he didn't wash his hands all day.
Oh yeah, definitely.
From there, it cuts back to the freaking restaurant, a bunch of filler, nothing. No, then it cuts to the kiss poster.
Like, "I love you."
And the freaking camera opens up on her freaking side shot of her tit, and it
pans
poses
up
to the freaking kiss poster. And then she asks the 13-year-old
about French, and she's like, "You're French, too."
Like,
and the kid's like, "What?"
He's like, "No."
No, he's like, "French what?"
It must have been like new, like in the 70s. Probably not though.
Nah, and then she starts talking about freaking
That's when she tells the story to Billy about the murders in the house.
Yeah, she tells the story like he went to room.
She goes into depth, of course. I'm not gonna repeat those lines.
Yeah. Anyways, no. And then the little other kid comes in the room.
Oh no.
And she's like, "Close your ears. I don't want you to hear this."
And then she goes.
And the 13-year-old's like, "What are you doing?"
At the end of the story, she's like,
rifle,
"You know,
bang,
it's kind of gross. You guys sleep in here now."
And
she's like, "Actually, it's fucking sick."
And then you look at the 13-year-old's face. It's freaking hilarious.
And she's just like, "Gotta suck at babysitting." And then he's just like,
no.
Yeah.
Also, she's telling this story while under the symptoms of marijuana and freaking her gonorrhea symptoms. Go on.
With no known cure for gonorrhea in the 70s. No, then they do the babysitter.
Because it's set in the 70s.
No, then they do the babysitter in Jody's closet. They go to she checks out the other rooms, and
no, the babysitter.
That's the trip out scene when
she gets locked
she
in the
sees
closet.
Jody in there.
Gets in and
that's when they do
it.
the bullet hole through the gun. They thought that would be like
the ghost.
The
ghost makes the babysitter.
It was like, okay, whatever.
No, the ghost grabs the babysitter's finger and puts it in her bullet hole in the middle of her head, and you're like, oh,
that's
great.
Lame.
You're like, this is lame. Alright, so freaking she starts flipping out and she's thinking that the 13-year-old
she's traumatized like Laurie Strode. That's what the Myers Fan 25 say. And it cuts to the ambulance scene already. Wow, like, get me the fuck out of here.
She's locked in there and she thinks it's the kids freaking holding the door anyways. So then it cuts to the freaking parents getting back.
Thank God Dimension did this so they made it rated R. If anyone else would have done it, they would have probably done a PG-13 version.
And they're wheeling her out. And they're like, yeah, no known cure for gonorrhea. That's the ambulance people are saying. Anyways, so they cuts
this is one of our favorite parts. It cuts to the freaking
stairway,
when he's scolding the kids about scene. Fucking with the babysitter.
Yeah, and the mom's like,
this shit is hilarious.
The mom's like, freaking.
And he's like, oh, shut up. From now on, I'm gonna be doing the discipline around here, Kathy. It's pretty good one. And they're like, the kids are just like, oh, this house is bad. And he's just like, why didn't you tell us about the family that died here? You got nothing to add?
No, I can't. I don't know. I don't see.
No, then she's like, oh, shut up. You know, he's just like, people. Then that's when he repeats the line like, people kill people.
No, he's like, houses don't kill people. People kill people.
And he's just like, the babysitter.
No, he says houses ain't bad. People are bad.
No,
that's
then
what
he says the infamous. And he's like, the babysitter told us 2 kids died in our room.
And freaking...
He's just like, the babysitter's a goddamn idiot.
No, yeah, because the mom's like, where'd you hear that from?
It's like the funniest line ever.
And freaking, yeah, that line is hilarious from Van Wilder.
And they're like, I'm not sleeping in that room.
She's like, I'm not going in, it's gross.
And he's just like, wipe that stupid look off your face.
Oh, yeah, Van Wilder's like looking at the little 5-year-old.
No, he's got his voice from like that one movie. No, his cameo in White Castle. Yeah. It's like that character, like, talking. It's
he's like... Wipe that stupid look off your face. Go to bed.
It's like the spirit was fiending for him, so it freaking right when he got back in the house, it took over his body, like, and that's when he started to go more and more overboard. Anyway, and then the little girl tells her mom that George is bad. Jody knows that the guy in this house is bad.
Yeah, she's tucking in the kids. And she's like,
add to the suspense. Anyway, next day. That's when it's the infamous chopping wood with this freaking shirt off, and you're like, great, they put this in so that all the bitches would see it, so they get another $25 million in the bank. Oh, and it worked, too. Like that's why it made so much money. It made like $108 million at the box office. Now, our friend BJ would always be like, I need to get ripped, like, whatchamacallit, Amityville Horror.
Anyway, so freaking it cuts
2 minutes,
yeah, because you were talking. No, it goes to the dinner scene now. It goes to the dinner scene that night, and freaking it's all quiet, and freaking and she's like, "What is this torture?" And he's like, "It's meatloaf."
Oh no! And everyone's pissed off, of course, because of all what happened. And it's just like a typical American stepdad, like slowly taking over the authority, like of the family that he inherited. It's just establishing that
he's got balls.
Plus the fact that he's getting possessed by freaking spirits and shit,
and that he's got balls.
Yeah, right.
Alright, now, so it cuts to later on that night of them going to bed, and no, it cuts to George
all the stepdads are assholes.
Wow.
That's what it's saying.
So it cuts to the basement with George.
No, it's at night. He's tripping balls.
Yeah, it's where he's like on acid, and it's just showing a whole bunch of like
blood and shit.
It's pretty tight.
They amp the blood
him
up.
Like trying to find the way through the wall.
No, and then it's the next day, and that's when he goes to get the CAT scan from the 70s doctor.
Oh yeah, cuts to the doctor, and he's like, "Are you on any narcotics, sir?" And he's like, "Narcotics." He's like,
He's like, I'm sober as Eric Vierthaler and Nate Dunning and a rock combined.
And he's like, "Yeah, after this weekend, I've been thinking about narcotics." He's like, "I've been thinking about it. It's been a strong thought. It's a pretty good one."
So anyway, they're driving home, and he's just like, we get the old American. He's just like, we got the American dream. What more can you want, Kathy? Yeah, what? Go on. What else?
No, they get back home and this is when they get back home from the doctor and it's the girl.
American dream. What? A house full of buttholes?
No, and then it's their daughter on the freaking rooftop.
She didn't produce.
She's on the roof and she's like, "Hey, mommy, hey." And you're like, wow,
it's the infamous
improv from the little 5-year-old on the roof. Hey.
She was the only one who was a terrible actress.
The grip's got a
like
safety harness on her. It's all good.
I think I've seen the special features on this, but I can't remember. Anyway, and it's just beautiful shots, scenery of the lake behind her, too.
You can't remember.
And then the mom, what happens in this scene? It's good suspense throughout.
I'll tell you, this is our first...
mom goes up there.
I'll tell you, this is our first plot hole.
No, it's script convenience that George is a construction worker, so he busts out the freaking ladder on top of his
He goes
truck.
up halfway at the middle part. She gets all the way up there on the roof, and she's
all
freaking...
total sets.
All the way at the
completely
tip-top.
safe for the actors.
Hold up. This is where it's a tight... No, and it's like green shingles, and it shows the pan shot where over, and it's all the whole lake. And freaking, it's pretty tight shot. But anyways, no, this is the plot hole, the first plot hole of the movie. Where she she kind of jumps because she wants to freaking be with the little spirit. She's like, she said I can see Daddy.
She's completely over the edge.
She's like, I can see Daddy if I die. Anyway, so freaking...
Bear with us in this description.
She grabs her and holds her, and then she freaking slips. No, after she rolls...
A split movie second later, he grabs her in his arms.
After she slides down the side of the roof, though, then she drops her. And then freaking, this is the plot hole, is that he was halfway up there already on the roof, but freaking she falls and Van Wilder catches her and he's at the bottom on the freaking porch, and freaking grabs her and it's freaking retired. But anyways, so then they're like, "What were you doing? What's going on?" And this part's hilarious.
She's like, "I wanted to see Daddy."
And
Jody told me.
And this whole time when the mom is talking to the daughter,
ghost girl told me
freaking Van Wilder's watching from down the hall and he's like, "What the hell is wrong with you people?
Fucking wacko family."
Yeah, and they walk away and he's like, "What a wacko family."
That is some funny shit.
And the mom's like, seeing that he's like, being real rude and possessed. Seeing that he's getting a darker side to him.
Yeah, so then it cuts to George setting up his freaking stoner couch in the basement.
Yeah,
he goes straight to that.
He's got the beads, he's got everything, the rug and everything.
It's like the scene from Grandma's Boys.
He's got the puke green couch.
So then this is the scene where it cuts to paying homage to the original script where the mom goes to the priest. And this is why we say we hate the freaking original. You know how they had the nun playing basketball in the original. Like, what the fuck?
What, dude?
They were like extras, but they were just like extras that wouldn't even get out of the way. They were just filming that day, and like a nun was playing freaking basketball in real life. And she's like, "I'm not gonna fucking quit playing basketball. I'm just gonna play."
It's because she's got game.
Yeah, and it's fucking cheesy for my '70s horror movie. What the?
It's pretty cheesy.
And it's good filler. I'm gonna sum this up, and then she's like. Anyway, the priest is just like, "I knew the family." No, he's just like, she's like, our family's going more apart. And the priest's like, "Never heard of it. Don't know what you're talking about." And then he's just like, "Oh, I knew a family." And then she's like,
she's like, "Yeah, I'm living in their house now." And
horror, suspense.
Like, oh.
Shot this movie pretty great. Score throughout, and they drop the beat right there. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, then they cut back to the infamous George and Billy cutting wood again. No, and he does it in slow-mo when he's holding the hands and they speed up the film. That's how they do it.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it look like a 90s action movie
holding
or something.
The wood, and he's just like, okay, he's like, hold it steady, because if you get shaky, I get shaky.
Alright, you gotta sum this part up. Then he's in the basement that night. It was already that next day, then it cuts to that night.
And he
he's in the basement watching
face.
In the family videos.
And the TV like comes on and freaking it wakes, he wakes up.
No, he starts seeing the little kid, Billy, as the first demon that he needs to kill, because that's what happened to Joseph DeFeo. No, anyway, alright, we're gonna go to part 3, the finale of our in-depth horror discussion review, Amityville Horror 2005 Remake.